And I feel like I didn't know how to take that. And I feel like I almost resented God.
Happy Sunday and welcome back for episode 2 in this thing of ours podcast.
Where we talk about all of life's highs and lows.
And everything in between. So happy Easter. What traditions do you guys celebrate? Like, do you guys get together with your families? Are you guys going to have, Easter dinner? Is it just going to be you two? Like, let me know what you guys are going to do in the comments below.
Do you have any big plans?
Yeah.
Going out of town, taking a trip for the whole weekend. I remember like when I was a kid, we didn't really do a whole lot. Like, obviously we celebrated just like our family.
Yeah.
Our parents hid eggs around the house.
Oh my God, the Easter hunt.
Me and my brother would search for them all over. And I was a nice older brother. I let him find some. Even if I did find it, I would leave them there for him.
Oh, that's nice. My sisters would never have done that. Like the adults back then, they would put money, like, $2, $3 inside like little Easter eggs. And then they would hide them around in our backyard. And we would have to go all over the house and find them. And sometimes, obviously, you wouldn't just put money in every single egg. You would find chocolate, like, those little small little Easter eggs. Yeah, they would put that also in there and hide them around the house. And yeah, like, if you found as much eggs as you could find, then you got obviously a bigger prize. Like, that is kind of like our Easter hunt.
Yeah, so we just got those little chocolate eggs with the foil covering them. Mm-hmm. Those were inside. And then after we did our hunt, then we had like little gift bags with different other chocolates, like chocolate bunnies and things like that.
Yeah, a chocolate bunny.
Yeah, we had things like that.
Well, like I said, let us know how you guys celebrate Easter. And, did you guys do an Easter hunt for your kids? Are you going to do an Easter hunt? Did you guys go to church? Let us know. And if you don't celebrate Easter, let us know in the comment section below what you guys do celebrate. So let's start this podcast and pick it up from like what we kind of started last week about how we met. If you guys haven't watched that vlog, the podcast, or listened to it on Spotify, check it out. We'll leave the last week's episode in the description below. So last week we talked about how we met. And, just a quick summary. We met on Tinder. It all happened with a swipe to the right. Thanks to Tinder. That's right. That dating app, Tinder, has put us together for about 6 years. So Tinder, thumbs up to you. We've been together for about 6 years, and it was a challenge that we haven't really talked about yet.
There were some ups and downs, like obviously
some hills that we had to climb over.
That's with any relationship though, right?
Yeah.
Like nothing is ever going to be perfect. And I feel like a lot of people need to realize, there are some things that
some flaws,
yes, in the other person, but usually if you're going to stay with that person, the good will outweigh the bad, and that's just what you got to roll with. Yeah,
and then you also like grow, while you're in the relationship, and hopefully, you both grow together and it's a positive growth, not a negative one. So I was actually thinking, like maybe we can share like how we have grown in this relationship, together wise, and what have we learned from each other. And, maybe like just you say 2 and I say 2, because we don't want this podcast to be like 3 hours long because your girl can talk forever. So I was actually thinking about maybe just saying 2 things, Okay. So do you want to go first?
Well, I just want to back that up a little bit.
Put you on the spot.
And say, like, you kind of mentioned how you grow in the relationship, like some of those flaws that you've seen in the other person. Sometimes as the relationship grows, that person, like if your communication is good within the relationship, those flaws can be kind of minimized, and the person that you're with will kind of work on them a little bit to help make the relationship a little bit smoother, right?
Yeah, I also feel like if you want to change, like you can't change I don't believe you could change someone. I think that person wants to change if they really want to be with you. Like they'll see their flaw and they will work on it if you tell them, be like, hey, I didn't like when you did this. And, you know, they'll recognize the next time they do it and hopefully, you know, they change. I think that, you know, people who do change while they're in a relationship, it's because they want to be with that person and they see that how they were back then isn't how this person is going to tolerate them. And if you really want to be with that person, right, you're going to change for the better and try to help grow in that relationship.
I agree.
Yeah. So do you want to start? Because I'm putting you on the spot.
Well, the first thing I want to talk about is how I have changed from previous relationships. I am more, I guess you can say less selfish. We'll put it that way. I am less selfish than I was previously because I feel like I do more for her than I did in previous relationships. And I'm more willing to help out and be around and comfort and all those things that are kind of needed in a relationship. I mean, previously I did give more massages and little things like that.
This relationship was also built on massages. That's how we got here.
Yes. So yes, I will admit, yes, I did do more at the start. Things like that kind of eased my way in and got her to like me a little bit more, I think, at the start.
Yeah. And then obviously you continue those things at the start of the relationship because you're still in that, you know, I'm obsessed with you honeymoon phase of just starting out in a new, fresh relationship. So
yeah. But no, like what I mean kind of is like, I do help with the cleaning a little bit. I personally feel like I do more of the cooking. She does more of the cleaning, but we both do both. Like we don't each do one thing.
Yeah.
We kind of work together in this relationship, which is something that I don't think I really did before. And I feel like you did kind of teach me how to work together in a relationship. I feel like, because I didn't do that before. And like every weekend we do our big cleanup. We try to obviously keep the place clean during the week, but we always do our big cleanup on the weekend. We work together.
I definitely want to say that I appreciate you cooking because that is something, honestly, growing up, I didn't really like to do. I didn't like cooking. Like I have no interest really in the kitchen. Like it's just not for me. I love cleaning up. I love, you know, vacuuming, dusting, wiping things down, washing the dishes. Those are the things for some reason I enjoy. But when it comes to like cooking, I'm looking at my kitchen. When it comes to cooking, it's a huge no for me. So I'm really grateful that you like to explore. Like, don't get me wrong. Like sometimes I find a good recipe on Pinterest and I'm like, ooh, I want to try that. Like, we made falafels. We made falafels. And you helped me out and, you know, I had fun with that and it was a different experience, but that's just not who I am. Like, I don't like cooking. I see myself as, you know, you like to do the cooking. I will help, but I prefer doing the cleanup because one thing I will say is that I don't like the way you clean.
I don't clean to her standards.
Yeah. And like, let's just do a little flashback here. When Chris first started coming over, do you remember when you went to use my bathroom and then you didn't put down the lid of the toilet?
I put down the seat, but I did not put down the lid. I didn't know that was even a thing.
I flipped out because do you guys know how much bacteria comes out of the toilet when you flush? So I always, like when he first came over and he used the bathroom and he didn't put down the lid, I almost had a heart attack.
She did.
I was like, oh my God, I don't know if you can come over again. Like, what is this? Why didn't you put down the lid? I was freaking out. I'm surprised you even came back.
I know. Like, this girl crazy. What did I get myself into?
But yeah, I'm just grateful that you like cooking.
But yeah, no, I feel like that's the first thing I want to mention that I learned being in this relationship is just working together, compromising on certain things, finding a happy medium, and just having that balance that just works.
Yeah. And I want to jump in on that because that's another thing that I learned from Curtis is learning to try new things. Like I am very I eat the same thing every day. I would go to the same places every day, not willing to try different things. And meeting you got me out of my comfort zone of wanting to try new foods and not being scared to stay in my box and not seeing the world. Like now I want to see the world. I want to see what else is out there. I want to try new things. Like, for example, about, trying the new things and how you got me to explore more and out my comfort zone. There was a time in school where all I knew was the health field, because both of my parents and other relatives are in the healthcare field. And that's all I knew. I didn't know about there was business. I didn't know about, there was finance. I didn't know anything about really that world. All I knew was, go to school, go in the health field, and that's it. You helped me, once I graduated from, dental hygiene, you helped me explore more of a business side and also learn more about money. Because I never knew that. I literally thought that, you went to college, you're going to the healthcare field.
Yeah. And that's all one track.
Yeah. And that's all I knew. I didn't think that there was other parts out there. There was a bigger world for me. And you helped me explore more. And I became so curious about life that once I actually did graduate dental hygiene, I actually wanted not to just work in the field, but I wanted to do something else. My mind was just racing with all these different possibilities and, being able to explore something that I never got to even, I didn't even know existed.
Well, I'm sure you knew it existed. You just didn't think it was a possibility for you to learn it. You thought that there was one route and that's what you were meant to do. That was the only thing for you because that's all you really knew.
I wasn't really I didn't know anyone that that had their own business. I didn't know anyone that was making money for themselves. I thought you got a job and that's what it was, a job. And you find life insurance through that job. You invest in your retirement. Here in Canada, it's called your RRSPs. And that's even things like that you taught me. You taught me so much about the finance world that now I don't want to just settle for one thing. I want to explore. And I feel if it wasn't for you, I would still be in the same comfort zone, still eating the same thing, still doing the same thing.
Yeah. And I want to kind of just backtrack a little bit. I don't know if I mentioned it in the How We Met video, but I know I did mention that we were both in school when we first met.
Yeah.
I took a business course and then I also went to university after completing that to specialize in finance to get my BBA. So that's kind of why I was able to teach her these things because that's what I studied.
Yeah.
And because I was in the middle of studying it, I would talk to her about certain things that I was learning and we kind of learned it together almost.
Yeah.
And I actually learned a lot about the healthcare field that I did not know.
Yeah, because he would he would test me on some of my subjects, read to me my cue cards. And, he let me study his anatomy, anatomy and physiology. Yeah, he helped me with that. And it was fun. So I feel we learned a lot from each other.
I think in our next video or future videos, we are going to talk about finance. That is definitely one thing, but
we should definitely talk about our budgeting.
I think the next video we will talk about budgeting. So if you're interested, we will have one on budgeting and how we personally budget. So stay tuned for that one.
Yes.
If you watch it on YouTube, we will have small examples of spreadsheets and different things that we use. But if you don't, you can always just listen to it on the podcast.
Yeah, Spotify.
Yeah. And
because I feel like Spotify is the only one that's actually working right now. We've been trying to get onto the Apple podcast, and I don't know why we can't get it to work.
It's just not connecting. It's not working. If any of you actually know how to get that working,
please help us.
It keeps giving us an error saying our photo, something about the photo. I've tried to correct it. It just doesn't want to work.
Yeah. If you guys have searched for us on an app and you find us, please comment in the comment section saying that, yeah, we find you guys, we can listen to it, because we're not even sure if it's working, honestly. Like, we're just trying our best out here.
Yeah, this is still new to us, and we're trying to just,
work out the kinks.
Yeah. But we do have Spotify, links in the description, and you can always watch us on YouTube as well.
Don't forget to follow and subscribe. So don't try to run away from the second lesson, Curtis. What else have I taught you? Or what else have you felt that you picked up from me?
I feel like spirituality is one thing that's I don't know how I would say that. It's big for you. It is very important and something that you hold dear to your heart, your spirituality. And I feel like for me, it was never like I grew up Catholic. I got baptized. I did my communion. I did all those things.
You went to Catholic school and everything.
I did, yes. But within my family, it was never like one of the main things. Like, it wasn't very important to talk about it. We didn't pray all the time. Like, we didn't go to church. We just learned about it in school. But as I grew up, like, I really didn't do much with my religion, with spirituality. It just really wasn't an important part of my life. And, I kind of went on my own path.
It was good and bad, your path?
Yes, there was ups and downs for sure. Like, when I was younger, my father did pass away, and I feel like I didn't know how to take that. And I feel like I almost resented God for taking him away from my family.
Wow,
because it was a tough time. Like, me and my brother were both very young. My mother, she struggled trying to raise us as a single mother. And I will admit, I probably made it a lot harder for her because of, the things I was doing and people I hung out with and things like that. Right. But I feel like when I met you, you kind of opened that door back up. And even though I'm still kind of struggling with it, I'm closer than I was.
To God? Like,
yes, before I met you. Definitely closer than I was. And I don't pray with you all the time, but the odd time when I feel like I kind of need to, or, sometimes it's not even when I'm in a dark space or whatever you want to call it. Sometimes I'm just happy and I just feel like being grateful, and I hear what you're saying. I want to join in. And even though I don't really say much, I listen, and I guess in my head, I agree with everything you're saying, and I'm appreciative of everything you're saying. Yeah. But I will open up more as time goes on, of course. Yeah.
One thing that I want to say is I'm super proud of Curtis. No, like, I'm really proud of you, because when we met, and yes, he did jump in, he saw me at nighttime praying. The nights that you did stay over, he saw me praying, and he always jumped in. He sat down with me, sometimes he would hold my hand and join in, just listen to, my thoughts and what I'm saying to God. And I used to always ask him, like, do you want to say the prayer tonight? And he'd be like, no, you say it. No, you say it every night for 6 years.
Well, it wasn't every night, but.
Okay, yeah. Okay, maybe not every night, but like that he joined me. But every single time that he did join me for 6 years, guys, I've been asking him, like, hey, do you want to say the prayer? do you want to talk to him out loud with me? Do you want to join in the conversation? Like, say something. And he always told me no. Like, no, I don't want to. No, I'm just going to listen. No, I'm just going to sit here and participate, like just being silent. Like I felt like you never wanted to talk to him, but like I knew, like I was patient, and so was God. God is super patient. Okay, 6 years it took him to finally say something, and I actually stopped asking him because I didn't want to force that upon him, you know, because I don't like when people try to force religion on people. But finally, after 6 years, he said something. He actually took my hand, and we, you know, sat at the end of the bed, and he said a prayer. He said the prayer. I was like in shock. Like I was in shock. I know this is a really deep topic to talk about, but I feel like we want to be real with you guys, and you know, we don't want to be fake and, you know, pretend that we're perfect, because we're not perfect. And I feel like this is something important to share because this is growth. And God wants to see you happy, because I believe in God, and I put everything into his hands, because he's brought me out of a dark space. And that's a part of me feels like I have to talk to him. Even if I have nothing to say or nothing to ask for, I just say thank you for everything. You know, thank you for my parents. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my niece. Thank you for you. Like, I am really happy that you spoke, because I felt that you did resent him after you telling me, you know, you don't talk to him, because you felt like I felt like you felt you resented him, you know. And my dad lost his father, and growing up, I was always going to church with my aunt, and I always felt like my dad did somewhat resent God as well. So seeing that in you, I just prayed that, you know, you would come around and you would forgive God, because I want you to build that relationship with him. And I always felt like, I'm like tearing up. I always felt like God wanted me to try to get you to talk to him.
Yeah.
You know, start that conversation. So like that night when he said something, when he said the prayer, I was in shock.
Yeah.
I wonder if God was in shock too.
Probably. I don't know. It was just every time you did ask me, it's like part of me wanted to, like I really deep down wanted to. It was just the anxiety, the fear, all those things. I don't know. It just got boiled up, and I just wasn't able to.
Yeah.
I couldn't muster the strength to actually do it. And I don't know if anybody has ever felt that way, because of things that have happened in the past, and you feel like, you know, you basically resented him for the things you've been through or whatever's happened to you, people you've lost, things like that, right? But I truly believe that as much as that was a very big negative thing to happen, or a very bad thing to happen in my life, I would not be who I am today had it not happened.
Yeah, I mean, no, for real, that actually makes me happy that you feel like I helped you with that.
Yeah, no, and I do appreciate it.
Should we change this to like motivational Sunday? Like,
but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like you just need to accept the past and move on with your future, remembering the gifts from the past.
Yeah. What have I learned from you other than, you know, try new things? Oh, patience. Patience. I think.
Why? Am I that bad?
No. Like, I feel like you taught me, well, okay, hold on. You taught me patience. I was going to say something else, but, you know, being with you, you did teach me patience.
Why? What were you going to say?
Um,
I'm very curious now.
Nothing terrible about you. Nothing terrible. No, but I've watched, like, I told you from the time that we met, you know, I looked at you and you always had this patience. Like, you knew it was going to work out. And like, even if I kept saying no to dating you, you knew you had patience. You're like, no, like, we're supposed to be together. We're supposed to be together. So I'm going to wait and you're going to come around and we're going to be together. Like, basically.
The patience and persistence.
Yes. You taught me patience. Like, I had zero patience. If it didn't work out right then and there, I moved on. Like, I needed to sit, wait, be persistent with the goal, and keep going, even if things didn't work out.
Yeah.
You taught me patience, okay? Because there's so many things, so many times I wanted to drop out of school. I wanted to quit a job, you know, move, do different things. And you taught me, you know, why don't you just stay still and work on that goal? So like being flexible with how I get there. And not just being like, this is the only way I'm going to get to my goal and that's it. Now I'm just like, okay, so that way didn't work out. Plan B to get to my main goal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm more flexible and being more patient with waiting. Cause like I said, guys, like if something didn't work out, I thought it was a sign from God. It wasn't supposed to work out and I would leave. Like,
no, there's always
zero patience.
There's always going to be obstacles in your path. And basically, if you do give up, you're never going to get there.
Yeah. And that's that's constantly what I was doing. I was constantly just giving up. And it's funny because there was also this podcast. Well, it's on YouTube, Transformation Church. And there's a saying, I think it goes like, you're planted, not buried. Yeah. And every single time now I want to give up, I think of what you taught me about patience. Like, just wait. You know, you got to drive through it. If you really want that goal, find a different way to get to that goal. And know that God just didn't put you there, just didn't drop you and leave you. You know, like, it wasn't just like you had those thoughts for a reason. Like all the all the ideas that I have in my head, you know, you're like, oh, why don't you pursue that? And I would try, or I would think about, how do I get there? And it would be too hard, so I would give up. You know, like, but you taught me, you know, there's always a way to get to your destination. May not always be the way you planned it, but you're going to get there.
If you keep trying. If
you keep trying. Like, you have to stay planted and you have to keep going with that goal. You taught me that. Yeah.
It actually reminds me a lot of that picture that you like.
Oh, yes. The famous picture of the drilling for the diamonds.
The guy that's mining for the diamonds. It shows two guys. And if you're on YouTube, we'll post it up there. But it shows two guys, you know, with the little pickaxe thing, mining for diamonds. And they built it, like they picked through a tunnel. And the one guy, he's so close, like one more pick. Yeah. And the diamonds just start pouring at his feet.
And that picture always stands out to me, but it also bothers me because it's like, bro, just throw the stick. Like, just throw it one more time. And you'll see it.
But he gives up, right? He gave up. You see him packing it in. He has his axe on his shoulder and he's walking away sad. Yeah. And he'll never see those diamonds. He'll never reap the benefits of his efforts. Yeah. Up to that point.
You'll never know how close you are to your goal. Like, if you just don't give it just one more day, one more chance, you know, like.
Yeah. No, I feel like I've always kind of been very patient.
You are.
I am more of a calm person. I'm very observant. Observant, yes. Of a lot of things around me and very analytical. Maybe that's just the Virgo in me. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, I just feel like.
Shout out to all my Virgos.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I feel like I do notice a change in you, that you are more patient and willing to keep trying.
I'm trying.
Yes. And then that's all we really can do, right? Like, if you have a goal that you're trying to achieve, just don't give up. Just keep going. If you got an obstacle in your path, find a way around it.
Mhm.
There's always a way to get to your destination if you really want it.
Yeah, that was a very deep podcast. So we hope you guys enjoy that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they are lessons that we've learned, being together, things that we've learned from each other. And I feel like I would actually like to know what you've learned from them.
Yeah. Your relationship should be helping you grow as a person.
Yes.
And, you know, that partner should always be supporting you to help you reach your goal.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about financially wise. Sometimes we need it. We need help mentally to get there.
Yeah. And like, even if you're not with anybody, think back to your past relationships. What have those taught you?
Yeah.
How did you grow from that relationship? What lessons did you learn that you can take forward to make your next relationship better?
Yeah.
Right? Because I feel like I know I've done that from my previous relationships, and I feel like you have too, right?
Yep. Definitely the money.
Yeah.
Money, the financial part. Ooh, you guys. It was like burned through my paychecks before, but now I'm more like conservative and I'm trying to save. So like I'm really excited for the next podcast.
The budgeting,
The budgeting podcast. I think we should make that the third episode because it's interesting. We budget separately, but we also try to budget together.
Yeah.
And at the start of the relationship, when we did talk about budgeting, I never wanted to talk about it. You know, like money was a huge like thing that I was very sensitive because I didn't know how to control it. Like I had ideas in my head and my father taught me different things about money, like save your money and things like that. But to have a conversation with somebody else that's not like your parents, I felt very scared. I felt like he was going to judge me based on my spending habits and, you know, how much money I was saving, how much money I was bringing in. But I felt like you never really judged me on that.
No.
All right. So that is episode 2 of the lessons that we learned from being with each other for 6 years. And we hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, like, turn on your notifications, and subscribe on Spotify. As of right now, like I said, that is the only podcast player that we have. So don't forget to subscribe on there as well. And we look forward to talking about the budgeting in episode 3. So any last words you want to say to the people?
Yeah, I feel like you can relate to some of the things that we've learned and realize that, you know, there's lots of things to be learned in life, and just keep growing, you know, keep moving forward, put one foot in front of the other, and, you know, achieve your goals.
So that was episode 2 of This Thing of Ours podcast, and we will see you guys in episode 3. Happy Sunday, guys.
Take care.
Peace.
And happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter. I was always on and off, you know, these dating websites like Plenty of Fish, Tinder, and I never really felt like I got a good connection from certain people that I was talking to. So I never really actually, you know, fulfilled like, you know, dating wise with them.